We are activating your unique self-discovery one show at a time. The Orchard of Wisdom Self-Discovery podcast are at your fingertips, just waiting to inspire and invite you in discovering just how awesome you really are and how to navigate through life in joy, enrichment, personal abundance, in mind, body, spirit, heart, and soul. All the people we bring you are here to serve you on your journey of life. Do enjoy our next show. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Your Health is Your Choice right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. My wonderful guest is Deborah Mares. And yes, folks, I do have a cold. I am sorry. I've lost my voice 2 days ago. It's slowly coming back. So you've got the husky Sarah today. We're going to be talking about your health. Your health is your wealth. Your wealth is your health. And we're going to be talking about acupressure and Jin Shin Jyutsu. And you know what? We're all going through these colds at the present moment. There's another epidemic of flus, etc. out there. How can we make sure that our health is our wealth? I don't care how rich you are. Really, you could be the richest person on the entire planet. It may afford you better treatment, but unless your health is healthy, you aren't wealthy. So how do we get healthy? We've got a lot to talk about today. She says that after her car accident in 1993, which left her with a back injury and chronic pain, Deborah finally found relief through acupressure and Jin Shin Jyutsu. This led her to a personal quest to find out more about these ancient healing techniques. Her mission is to share the information and techniques with others. She graduated and certified acupressurist from the Acupressure Institute of Berkeley in California. Then she pursued training under the well-respected Jin Shin Jyutsu masters, committing to share what she had learned with others. Deborah found health in your fingertips in 1995, using her knowledge of mind and body to help people relieve from pain, reduce stress, and body well-being. And today, the successful endeavor, Deborah is the go-to resources for energy balancing. She's built her degrees in sociology, uh, psychology, and with understanding of the whole person wellness. We've heard me talk about this before, folks. We don't just target one area. It's the whole of us. And she is on a mission to reach people with the simple fact that each of us can energetically, harmoniously balance our lives, mind, body, heart, spirit, and soul. It all works together. We just need to learn an easy technique that we can get around doing, because that benefits noticeably. For anybody who's listened to my shows before, you know I talk about energy all the time. I talk about treating ourselves as a whole being, and that energy is within us, and the flow of that energy is essentially important to our well-beingness. And if we don't tap into that energy and keep the flow going, we end up with problems like what I've got right now. Welcome to the show, Deborah.
And I thank you for the opportunity of being here with you, Sarah. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You are so needed right now. We're in winter. People are getting knocked sideways, left, right, and center. Medicine and doctors are all very scarce, and people just don't know what to do with themselves. But they don't realize there's a lot they can do with themselves, for themselves, with the right techniques. So thank you for being on the air with us right now.
Timing, good timing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So these techniques, acupressure is, acupuncture and acupressure is just so important, because again, when the chi, the energy is blocked, things can't flow. That means they're not optimized. And the acupressure or acupuncture, whatever people go through, releases that blocked, doesn't it?
It
Tell us
does.
more about it.
Thank you. So, yes, each and every one of us is an energy system. We walk around a body that is completely all about energy. In fact, it has rivers of energy that run through it vertically and diagonally. In Eastern medicine, they're called meridians and channels. Along those pathways are multiple energy balance points that all need and have to be in a state of openness so that the flow of energy can go through. Because if something impacts the system, Could be daily living, stress, tension, habits, emotional upset or trauma, physical injury or ailment, whether it's acute or now or chronic. Impact could also be mental confusion. Too much thinking, none of thinking, cluttered thinking, shattered thinking, whatever it is. If the consequences of the impact are allowed to sit on the system and not moved out of the way, the body starts going into reaction. And energetically, those rivers start acting, looking like they have beaver dams on them. And as any beaver dam sits on any river, it changes the flow pattern. It drops the level, it changes the current, it changes how well those rivers, those meridians and channels can do their job and their task, because each and every one has a purpose. But overall, the purpose of all the meridians and all the energy balance points are to be in a state of openness and flow so that all the purposes of all the organs and all the systems can be fulfilled. So when those beaver dams get jammed up, and everything is clogged and congested and constricted, that's where we get our conditions, our issues. People sometimes call them problems. I prefer using the word project, because projects are a lot more fun to work with and have a beginning and an end.
I refer to them as challenges.
Yeah.
Challenges to overcome.
Yeah. And I do believe that most challenges, most projects do have the possibility of changing up.
Yes.
And all we have to do is access the energy to allow that to happen. So that's why we walk around with fingertips. You have them 24/7. So what I do with teaching self-help acupressure is teach you how you can utilize these things called fingertips. Very light, gentle touch, place them in various areas of the body, and it connects the dots, connects the points, so that the blockages start letting go and the flow of energy can move down those rivers. That's when we have the full opportunity of truly being the best partners with our bodies. I believe that the person you're going to have the longest relationship with is yourself. So let's make the most of it.
You can't outrun yourself. You can't hide from yourself. You know,
Exactly.
you can't ignore yourself.
Exactly.
And you are with yourself from the beginning to the end. So please be kind to yourself, because this body and mind and the heart and soul is with you on this wonderful journey.
Yeah.
And yes, you're going to meet challenges, and sometimes it's just going to be feeling like a cosmic 2x4. And you're just going to go, you know, I'm whacked, I'm down on my feet, and just look at it as, okay, that the only way up is to rise up. And how do I rise up? In what state of being do I rise up? And face this challenge, and maybe look at it as a blank canvas in which for you to paint on what you want and what you want to be.
Yeah. 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 Beautifully said. Thank you. Yeah.
Energy, a lot of people think it's something you just plug in and recharge. We don't realize that we can be our own generator, right? And that energy is constantly in and around us. It's the atmosphere around us, it's the vibrations that are around us, and it's what we take in within us. And how it flows within us is also how that generator keeps regenerating.
Exactly. And isn't it interesting that there's actually an energy balance point that is all about regeneration? In Jin Shin Jyutsu, which is an ancient form of Japanese acupressure, which is predominantly what I make use of, though I have studied so many different modalities and practiced so many that more often than not, I can't tell you for sure what I'm doing when I'm working with someone one-on-one. Right.
The combo.
But when I'm teaching, it's a lot of Jin Shin Jyutsu, because I find that it's a very simple modality to learn. There's only 26 energy balance points. That's a lot less than in Chinese medicine, where there's hundreds.
Yeah.
And so there happens to be an energy balance point on the inside of both ankles that is literally called regeneration. And when that point is in a state of balance and harmony, the body experiences that place of what you're talking about, being a generator. accessing the energy that's already there. It sometimes just needs to be rediscovered because it's stuck in a pool, in one of those stagnant pools next to the beaver dam.
Yes, I had a friend who used to call it mush.
Yeah,
Clearing out the mush.
the slug.
Yes. And that slug just gets worse and worse and heavier if we don't clear it out.
Exactly.
That's with the swollen ankles and the sore feet and the
Yep.
sore legs and the everything else that, starts creeping
Right.
on up.
Right.
So we need to be mush free.
Yeah. And that's why I believe that, and teach all my clients and all my students this 9-step energy balance flow that I wrote, God, 20 some years ago, 23 maybe. I've been in private practice for almost 30 years. It's astonishing for me to be able to even say that. And I can't imagine not getting to do it, to tell you the truth. So, but
That's when you're truly in your calling.
so years ago, as I was working with my clients and recognizing that I wanted to give them something that they could make use of on a daily basis to create that foundation, that sense of stability that the body could just live from and with. And I call it the daily clean your house flow. It recognizes that the body you walk around in is your house. And if you clean it out every day, you're ahead of the game.
Right.
So make use of this 9 steps to potentially clear your brain, clear the mind, fill the heart, help your physical body experience all the systems in fine working order. All that said is that when we do that for ourselves on a daily basis, we can literally get rid of the cobwebs and dust bunnies and give it a darn good vacuuming and allow your body then to experience that space of balance and harmony. From there, we then have the opportunity to be better able to listen, to hear the messages our body wants to give us. And then sometimes, have you ever felt like you get this kind of niggling grabbing at you, like, what's this about? Whether it's in like a knee pain or you got a twitch in your tummy or whatever the case may be, and you just sort of maybe don't think about it and it gets swept under a rug. Well, that was a message.
Yes.
And the beauty is that when our bodies are in a state of balance and harmony on a consistent basis, daily basis, we'll more easily get those messages, understand where they're coming from, give to our body energetically what it's searching for to help that message be dealt with so that it doesn't become a project.
Avoid the cosmic 2x4. Yes.
Yes.
You talked earlier about partnership. I've had fibromyalgia now for going on 25 years,
Wow.
and I've learned to partner with it. It's there, and it has days where it's nice and quiet and allows me just to go about life doing what I know I can do. And then other days it says, no,
Not today.
not today. I'm going to flatten you if you don't listen to me. And I have to honor that partnership.
Yes.
And I think, no matter what little obstacle we are given in life, and some are things that you just have to manage, and some things you can eradicate altogether. Like I'm an asthmatic since the age of 2.
Wow.
That's 66 years now. The lungs have been challenging for this length of time. And the thing is, okay, asthma, all right, I know. Running up here or doing that is going to spark you, and I really don't want to hear from you. So therefore, I know what to avoid, and when to give my lungs the breath it needs when I am going to be doing something that's going to be exerting myself. It's being in tune with your body, knowing its do's and its don'ts, its cans and its can'ts, and allowing it to really be the essence it's meant to be when it can be. But if you are given an obstacle, that, okay, within the boundaries, why push against the obstacle just to have it raise up and consume you, right? So
Right.
you know your boundaries and you learn to within those parameters, and you learn to listen to each other.
Exactly. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. And interestingly enough, not so interesting, it makes sense, I think. The first step of the daily clean your house flow is to give yourself a hug.
Mm.
And it just happens. And everything I show is with very light, gentle touch. It doesn't have to be firm. It doesn't have to be hard, deep, just light, gentle touch, placing your fingertips like so. Yeah. And it can be anywhere from the elbows on up, because guess what? There's no wrong because there's no right.
Right.
I take the perfectionist out of it because it doesn't have space.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That will help us get out of our own way as well, because this is a big part of everything we're talking about, Sarah, is
Yes.
helping us get out of our own way to just be with our body and experience the flow.
Get
So
out
when
of the head intellect and get into the body intellect.
exactly. And so when you're giving yourself a hug, light, gentle touch, you're connecting with an energy balance area that's all about breath. It's about lungs. It's about diaphragm. It's about heart health. And it's connecting with an energy balance point at the mid back that's kind of hard to get to. If I may show you, it's right back there.
Right.
No, it's kind of hard to get to. But horizontally, if you look at the body like latitudes, when we're here, we're connecting with that energy balance point. And are you noticing that as you do this, your shoulders come down?
Yeah.
Even though you're like this, your shoulders come down. And then the blades, the shoulder blades have an opportunity to slide down the back. So there's more room for your neck, for your head to sit on your neck. And
your
for
spine
your
to erect.
yeah, and for your chest to release, and everything all of a sudden has more room.
I kind of understand why they now do this in Wakanda. Black Panther favorite movie, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it just also happens that there's an energy balance point right here underneath your collarbones that's all about gathering and dispersal. Gathering in the energy and dispersing it throughout your body. Now, this point right there is taken into account a lot of the time in many of the flows I teach my clients and my students. And that as a point is all about gathering in the breath, dispersing it to every cell of your being, gathering in the energy and bringing that flow to every morsel. Bringing it all to wherever it needs to be. And isn't it interesting that in Tai Chi, for instance, one of the movements is just simply go like this, right? Yeah. We're gathering it in.
Bringing the hands in and slowly pushing it out. And it's all slow, deliberate movement, nothing fast.
Right. And that's why I also suggest that everything be with light, gentle touch, giving at least a couple good breaths for every hold we do, for the body to have that opportunity to feel the flow, feel the message, feel the understanding, because that's what it wants more than anything.
Yeah.
And I would love to share another point with you, may I?
Yes, share all the points,
please.
baby, all the points.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot about the fact that it's winter, that there's colds and flus, and there's still that thing out there called the pandemic stuff. And there's just a lot to deal with for our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. There just happens to be an energy balance point right at the top inside corner of the shoulder blade. Feel that?
Light by the first vertebrae?
Yeah, right here. So if you right
there. Yeah, just down from your lump vertebrae.
Yeah. Light, gentle touch. Now, if you are uncomfortable doing this because you have a shoulder project, there's another way to reach for it. But right now, if it's comfortable for you, just hold there. That as an energy balance point is all about understanding. Open this puppy up and your body all of a sudden gets the messages of what it needs to do to really take care of you. Your body is, think of the relationship with your body as one of reciprocity. You give to it, it'll give to you.
Yeah.
And when this body right there is in a state of balance, all of a sudden the body understands. And guess what else is there? It's the connecting with the immune system and lymphatic system. And right now, that's been kind of tight for you, for a lot of us.
Yeah,
and
especially time for me. Yes.
And that's where the 2x4 gets really constructed and clogged up. That area of the body, all the way from the occipital area, along the cervical spine, all the way down the spinal column, wants to be a valley. Does not want to be a 2x4.
Right.
Because then there's two 2x4s, one on each side. And then we're like stiff and stuck.
Yeah.
So holding here and then add another point to it. So if you want to bring your left hand, okay, I got mixed up. Left, it's a mirror thing, right?
Yeah.
Left hand to here and then bring your right hand. I'll mirror you now. Your right hand on your right chest, just below your collarbone in that gathering and dispersal point. And now you're helping the immune system and the lymphatic system move the energy in such a way that all parts of your being understands what it needs to do to service you, to help take care of the energy flowing, and then switch to do the other side. So help the energy flow so that the symptoms can go by the wayside. If your body's not dealing so strongly with symptoms of whatever the ailment or pain from injury or whatever it is, the body has a stronger opportunity to get on the other side of the symptoms and help your body release the project.
Mm.
Doesn't that one feel good?
Oh, that does feel good. Yeah. My body
Yeah.
at the present moment, it's just like anybody who touches me, it hurts because the whole body, the flu thing has completely, obviously, activated the fibro. And that means the fascia, the fiber optics are all screaming at the present moment. So any form of touch can
Yes.
hurt. But
Right.
as you said, like the releasing, of it, just really, really nice. And I spent a fortune on acupuncture, which was amazing, absolutely amazing. I'll give it 100%, what it did for me. And I also used to go to a massage therapist that was an energy reader. So she knew exactly where I was blocked and how to release it. But the
Nice.
trouble is with that, it literally is hundreds of something dollars a time, right? So what you're showing is how people can actually do this for themselves as a tune-up every day,
Every single day.
so they don't have to go anywhere to have anything done and spend all
Exactly.
that money.
So imagine I spend every morning for 5 to 15 minutes doing the daily clean your house flow.
Hmm.
That's my support platform, if you will. I'll end every day doing the daily flow as well.
Hmm.
There's no such thing as too much self-help. You can do it as many times as you want.
Right.
Then the beauty is you bring in these little steps, if you will, to remind your body off and on throughout the day what it wants and needs to receive to feel the spaciousness. Because when energy is flowing, it's spacious.
Yes.
There's no beaver dams, it's
Right.
just space.
There's
So
a sense of
imagine,
lightness about it too, right? In
yeah.
that flow.
So
Mm.
when you're holding your hands like so, imagine, folks, that what's the space between your hands is like an energy flow, an energy river that just keeps opening and opening,
Mm.
inviting more and more space. And what I love to say is that even when you're holding areas where, well, let's go to here. So bring your hands to the outside edge of your lower abdominal, right in
Hmm.
here. Okay. That's an energy balance area that's all about safety and security and foundation and stability. Now, the beauty is that when you're holding those points with light, gentle touch, you're creating space for the energy to be horizontal. The beauty is it doesn't cause you to gain inches.
Right.
It
Yeah.
just gives you space for the breath to flow, for the energy to flow, for your body to experience what it wants to and needs to do to take care of you. That's what it wants to do more than anything, just to take care of you.
I'm going to ask a question. Blocked
So,
energy in the legs when people get heavy legs. That's something I get with the fibro. The legs are like lead. So I
yes.
can't get down on the ground and I can't chase after my darling 20-month-old grandson.
Oh,
Uh, so it is because of the heavy legs. I had, I remember when I gave birth to one of my children, I had the spinal thing. Gosh, I forgot what it's called now. And at one point, they dropped my legs out of the forceps after I'd given birth, and they almost fell off the table. And I couldn't feel the legs. All I could feel was the weight. And so I kind of understood people that are stuck in wheelchairs, etc. And everybody thinks, well, you can't feel anything, so, it can't be hard. Well, they don't realize
oh,
it's just heavy weight completely. And that gave me a better understanding of it. But every now and again, I get that heavy weight. What energy is blocked there?
Good question. There's energy that goes all the way from the top of your head to the tips of your toes.
Mm-hmm.
The rivers of energy flow vertically and diagonally. So what's more often being blocked is actually energy that's coming from right here at the base of your ribs. So from here to here, if we can get that to open and have the memory of openness, then you can more easily remind your body to say, let go, please, Sarah. Let go, please, Sarah.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So something as simple as holding, my sense is it's your left leg that gets the heaviest.
It's hard to tell.
Okay. Well, let's play with that one right now. If you have your left hand on that left lower abdominal area and have your right hand, I'm going to slide my leg up, have your right hand be at the upper left thigh, about right there. Right there.
Oh, yeah, I can feel the point.
There you go. Okay. So you and your body know that that is an energy balance area that really wants to let go. Then bring your hand down into the knee. There. That point is all about processing, helping your body understand what it needs to do next so it can more easily move forward. So doing that off and on throughout the day could be really beneficial, and simply reminding your body physically, mentally, emotionally, how to let go so that you can move forward. And the beauty is that in moving forward, it also understands how to have stability and traction. So you can go forward, you can go backward, you can go side to side and not lose stability.
That's important. When you think about how many people, I'm 7 hours a day at this computer, and so many people like myself now, the computer is the office, it is the workforce now. And so many people are sitting. That particular exercise just done 2 or 3 times a day, just to remind the energy, that you do have legs and a lower part of your body. Just give it a little flow of energy along the way so that it knows that when you're finished at the end of the day, it is now required to move.
Well, and another good, I think, idea is to maybe set a timer.
Yeah.
And at least once an hour, if not several times an hour, give yourself a program, if you will, create a routine that feels right to you. So for instance, I start the day doing the daily clean your house flow before I even do my stretching. Then if it's a computer Zoom day, for instance, and I'm lucky to say that as of March 2020, I have now clients all over the world because that's where I went.
Right.
So that's pretty awesome that I can do. Yeah, and I love it that I can do what I do one-on-one via the airwaves.
Right.
But for myself, what I'll do is I will have, if I'll start my Zoom call like this and release my shoulders and my neck, right? And then maybe 30 minutes later, if I'm still sitting, I'll go ahead and do another step, which would be sit on my hands. That's another energy balance point that's all about vitality. And does that one feel good?
Yeah. Well, again, the whole body kind of sits right up, doesn't it? And aligns.
Yes, it totally corrected and gave you lumbar curve. So every single energy balance point, again, has a purpose, a reason for being, and a meaning. And when it's in a state of balance and harmony, it has the opportunity to fulfill that purpose. So this one was all about breath and taking care of self and loving self. And sitting on your hands is all about vitality. So you do this, couple good breaths. Doesn't that feel good?
Yeah.
And then bring those fingertips to your sit bones and feel how you went into a really nice lumbar curve.
Opening up the lungs as well.
Yes. And that's, by the way, is the second step of the daily clean your house flow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when your body can experience that quick of a change because it knows what it needs to receive, that's the aha.
So, there isn't, oh, I've got to go and walk 10,000 steps. I've got to go to the gym. There's just your lifestyle or your work style is telling you you can't, or maybe your physical challenges, you can't do that. There is this option of keeping your energy completely going. Whether you
Yes,
are going to the gym or doing 10,000 steps, this is still a practice that you can do
yes,
daily just to keep your energy going.
right.
Now,
So imagine doing that and a few other steps involved before you go. If you are going to go exercise at the gym,
yeah,
do it before you exercise. You help
yes.
prepare your body for what you're going to ask it to do. If you're kind of stuck in spot, where the exercise is a little tricky, you give yourself a moment to do another energy hold. And then at the end, you do a couple more moments of it, and your body is more able to receive everything you did for it without going into reaction. So if we'll do that for exercise and do it for you and sitting in front of a computer, do it for you before you vacuum the floor or go out in the garden and work or do
Or
this or
on
do
a
whatever,
plane for
or
hours on end, right? Yeah.
traveling,
Mm-hmm.
all of that, if we help our bodies be better prepared and be better able to handle whatever we're asking them to do or whatever's coming towards them, we're ahead of the game,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
why I love teaching this to kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we can teach our children early on,
Yeah.
again, how to be better partners, how to listen to our bodies, how to give them what they want so that the kids can study better, um, be in school, in classroom easier, sit in front of the computer, or be active in whatever sports they are involved in. Um,
More mental
I,
energy,
yeah,
sustainability through the day. Yeah.
exactly. I have a young lady that I've worked with for a while now who is a phenomenal musician, and she contends. I mean, she's 11 years old, 12 years. She contends that doing her energy work before and after, but especially before her practice, her performance, she has stepped up in a
Mm-hmm.
whole different way to be able to accomplish her heart's desire.
She's allowed the channeling to come through her because all meridians are open and ready to receive.
Exactly. Exactly.
Again, I have a 20-month-old grandson, and my daughter's pregnant, and she's had a horrible pregnancy, nasty, morning sickness all the way through and low blood pressure. And he, poor little thing, and this has apparently happened to a lot of kids since COVID and the lockdown, didn't build the immune system up. And so the poor little thing has had one flu after the other, the same kind of cough that I have, a dry cough he's has. And it's like, it, doing this to children, it's maybe a little hard to teach a little one like that how to do it to themselves, but doing it to the kids
It's,
would also help them.
yes, totally. In fact, when I teach my workshops, what I suggest is that learn this for yourself.
Hmm.
And everything you learn can be utilized with friends and family,
Right.
with permission, of course. Um,
Always with
so,
permission, folks. That's the free will. They must be able to
yeah,
receive that energy. You can't impose it on
right.
them. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So, if I may make a suggestion for cough,
Hmm.
this one is so simple, and he could do it for himself because it's that simple. So remember where I showed you here at the,
Hmm.
right? Okay. So I'd love you to make a wing with your arm. So left hand on base of left rib right there. And bring your right hand over to the left chest, just below your collarbone.
Hmm.
You're literally sandwiching your lung.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And feel right off the bat, Sarah, how that opened up the space for breath, both total
Hmm.
entire lung breath and diaphragmatic breath. It works so well to open up respiratory system that can even help assist with cough, either with helping the body let go of the cough or having it be a productive cough, and then switch to do the other side. And the reason I say it that way is when we do our energy work, we're allowing our bodies to
Release.
know what it needs to receive and
Mhm.
knows what it needs to do.
Mhm.
It is your best partner. Allow it to receive the energy flow, and it will know what it needs to do to receive. So, in other words, if it needs to let go of the cough, it'll let go of the cough. If it needs to be a productive cough, it will be a productive cough.
And the projected cough is when we have phlegm and need to bring that phlegm up. It needs
Exactly.
to be out, not suppressed.
Correct.
Mhm.
Correct. But right now, feel with light, gentle touch how much your body is appreciating this.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I've been hacking away for the last few days. So,
So
yes,
this is good timing.
very good
So
timing.
imagine holding those points on with your grandson,
Yeah,
holding here and
I'm going
here.
to try it. I'll be there tomorrow. I'm going to be trying it on him. Yes.
Okay. So remember how I also said this is about breath. So when you're with him, maybe hold his upper arm and that low rib. Bring that hand that was on the upper arm back to the chest and then back to the upper arm. And if it still feels tight, and you'll know that because you are who you are, bring that hand that was either on the chest or the upper arm to that back area that I showed you, that point that's really hard to reach. And then just follow the shoulder blade down while your hand is right here.
Right.
And see what happens. And I'd love to hear what you find out.
Well, as an asthmatic, this is one thing people don't understand. I had an asthma attack during one of my interviews. Fortunately, it was a mum of 15 children, so she was very calm. It's okay, dear, be calm. And I had never seen myself have an asthma attack, so I never realized how much I tighten up and contort, right? And it was kind of quite freaky to watch myself having this, because what happens is everything tightens right up completely, and you're
Constriction.
gasping for breath,
Yeah.
right? And eyes are doing this and all of that, and it's quite scary to watch. So I actually understand what people are seeing when I go into one of those. And sometimes it can be just simply taking an intake of breath the wrong way, and it can set you off that way. So the most important thing for the lungs and for any asthmatic people with breathing difficulties is to relax the body so that the lungs can intake the oxygen it needs to calm down all of those senses that are now in panic, gasping for breath.
Correct. Correct. And isn't it interesting that a lot of what you're describing is about dryness?
Yes.
Right. And when you also talk about the fibromyalgia, for instance, that's dryness as well. Okay. And the body's searching for a way to help you let go of dryness.
It's like you're the Tin Man and you need the oil can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when we give to our bodies in the sense of allowing these fingertips to walk all over and dance with you, you're giving the body the opportunity to find homeostasis. It does not like extremes.
Right.
It does not like too hot or too cold.
Yes.
It doesn't like too dry or too wet. It doesn't like too firm or too soft. What it wants is neutrality. So when we assist our bodies to experience that spaciousness of the energy moving, that's when we were kind of on getting ahead of everything.
Yeah.
Helping our bodies be better prepared.
Our bodies are incredible. Look at what we can do. You look at people who are dancers, who are sports people, or just people who suddenly can throw a car or tip up, in the sense of adrenaline.
Yeah.
We are incredible with what we can do with our body. But if we let our body down, how can it be there for us? We've got to realize we need to maintain that energy in the body for it to be there for us.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why I love teaching self-help acupressure. Yes, I love doing one-on-ones. I'll always be doing that. I can't imagine not. whether it's virtual or in person. And I love teaching the self-help piece because each and every person has the ability to do the work for themselves. More often than not, it's just being shown a technique that's easy to learn, easy to remember, and easy to get around to doing because the benefits are noticeable.
Well, it becomes part of the routine of life. And the thing is, you could be at your desk, you could be on a plane, you could be in your car in a traffic jam,
Right?
and you can do something somewhere along the line. And who
Exactly.
cares if somebody suddenly see you doing this or doing this or doing that? With it, what are you doing? Come do it with me and feel it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Don't be embarrassed, be invitational. This
Yeah,
has really
exactly.
helped me. This is,
Yeah,
I was stiffening up and unable to go for that walk in that blizzard out there. And my body needed to have some oxygen. It needed some energy. So this was a way of doing it. And you could, people, so more people have aches and pains than not. And
exactly.
most of it could have been prevented. I mean, the
Uh-huh.
beautiful thing about Qigong or Tai Chi is they're all slow, deliberate movements. It's
Yeah,
not like kung fu, everything out there. It's very slow and deliberate, and you're actually pushing against something, but without much force.
correct.
And it's just,
Easy.
yeah, and it's just that energy that is needs to flow. When we actually understand we are energetic beings, the energy is all around us, it's within us, and we download that energy in the form of a beautiful wisdom and intellect. When we actually merge all of those together, now we're talking about the whole.
Exactly. And then those rivers of energy that I talk
Mm,
about, yes, they run vertically and diagonally, but think of how many there are, because there's one for every single organ and one for
yes,
every single system. And then there's combinations. And so there's a lot. And when they're all in flow, it's like this beautiful elliptical pattern that just starts taking and just encompassing your whole being inside and out. And
yeah,
all of a sudden your body says, ah, I got the message.
yes.
And then the colors can happen
Mm.
and all your senses start being more activated. And
And
then you
be
get this
more,
sense.
yeah, that's the beauty. Your
Yeah,
senses are activated. And,
yes,
people don't understand sensuality is attunement of your senses. It's not
exactly.
sexuality, it's sensuality of being in attunement of your senses. When your senses are optimized, you are feeling, seeing, and being everything. The clarity that you feel and you see, the ability that you see that you have, the possibilities that you see that you have, the
Yes,
opportunities that you see before you, because your senses are all working.
everybody's working together. Each
Absolute
piece and
harmony.
part of you is like a participant on the playground within you.
Yes.
And you get everybody talking together. It's this beautiful collaboration
Mhm.
that wants to take place, and you're helping it take place by helping the energy flow and move. And as a reminder, I want to bring you back to here, because if you do this one off and on throughout the day, your
Mhm.
immune system is going to be so much happier.
Believe me, I'm going to be doing this
Yes.
all day.
And guess when else it works for anyone who's about ready to travel?
Yeah.
This helps filter out the bad air.
Mm. Because
Okay.
we all know what the air is like in that damn plane. Plus, they've turned the air down because they want to keep people subdued. Back in the day when I traveled, we actually had better oxygen in planes, but not
Yeah.
anymore. They
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
keep you all subdued so the air is down. So yes, we need to take care of ourselves. We're also in a season when we talk about the dryness, the heat is on, and various heats just suck the moisture out of the
Yes, they
air.
do. Yeah.
And so that means it's sucking the moisture out of you. You get, as you pointed out earlier before we started the show, dry mouth, dry cough, dry skin, dry hair,
Right. Everything. Yeah.
everything dries up. So it's again keeping that energy flow going so that everything can kind of stay up in that flow, that liquidity flow that it needs to be in.
And of course, your body still needs adequate
Mm.
liquid
Lubrication, yeah.
lubrication. So making sure you get lots of good water. I have one of these with me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and helping and maybe adding electrolytes in
Yes.
order to help your body feel that substance of stability.
Mm.
And then when you do your energy work, it helps your body assimilate all you're doing right. So eating well, drinking well, moving well, all of that in conjunction with connecting all the points to play together, you're going to be ahead of the game and walk around in a healthier, happier body. That's what it's about.
We look at some of the biggest creatures in the world, elephants. I don't know about hippos, if they're vegan or not, but most animals just live off, the tree branches, the grass, everything else, the berries, bears, etc. Well, they do eat fish, but we're looking at them, and they get to that size, and they're incredibly strong, and they're enormously resilient. And we've also got to look at the food that we're putting in ourselves. How much preservatives does it have in it? Was there pesticide on that food? Is it locally farmed and sourced, organically? Do you need to eat that meat? We really don't need to eat meat anymore. There's so many different options in plant-based meat type substances today that taste absolutely fantastic, that are better for us, and also better for our animal kingdom out there. There's so many options out there. When you actually start aligning your body in the right energy, you see things with more clarity. There's less defense on, no, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. You don't got to. That is, an old paradigm you're living. You now can choose to live a cleaner path because your mind, body, heart, and soul wants it. And it
Mhm.
knows it's optimized on that. And it's like,
Mhm.
I'm not going to pick that argument. I am not going to go into that arena of anger. I choose not to because the sanctity of my body and its energy does not want to be spent there.
Exactly. Thank you. And one of the pieces that we haven't even talked about is how when we utilize the self-help acupressure Jin Shin Jyutsu part, we can actually balance all emotion. And
And
so,
emotion affects the body in a
yes,
horrible way. So yes,
and it's important to have emotion, to have feelings. It's what
yes,
helps us be human. But it's when the emotion gets really big and takes our breath away,
yes,
causes us to not be able to move forward. All of a sudden, it may not be the most we can be doing for ourselves. So we can act, there's so many energy balance points and movements that allow emotion to be there in a bigger way. So, because emotion is there to give us information.
yes.
And as soon as we can gather the information and we can do it like that, then our whole body can experience the spaciousness of the feeling. And as
I,
soon as it
yeah,
experiences that, we can go further
yeah,
along our path,
yeah.
right?
Emotions are an indication of where you are at the moment. Pause, register the emotion. What is it trying to tell you? Do
Yep,
not become emotional over the emotion.
exactly, exactly.
That's
And that
blocked energy.
yeah, because emotional causes us to feel more and more stuck.
Panicked. We
Mhm.
become panicked, we become fearful.
Yep.
And the moment you become fearful and panicked, everything starts shutting down, everything starts tightening up.
Mhm.
Clarity is in the flow of the energy.
Yes.
When you start shutting down those energy meridians, the clarity is not there. The fear has a, flight and fight. We're in that mode. And because the body goes into tense, ready to fight. What are
Right.
you fighting? You don't even
Ah,
know,
no,
right?
exactly.
You've
Because
stepped into panic zone.
we get so stuck up in here
Yes.
because everything that's been all the energy blockage of breath goes right up to our head, and our
Yeah.
head gets caught up in it, and all of a sudden, so there's an energy movement that's actually the last step of the daily clean your house flow, that is jumper cables. And that's
Okay.
just simply holding each thumb and finger one at a time, like so, just gently cupping it. Couple good breaths, first on the thumb, and then when you're ready, you go to the next finger, to the index finger.
Am I doing it right?
So you're doing your thumb, yep, and then your index finger, And then after a few good breaths, you do your middle finger, and you're literally helping your body on all layers and levels get rid of worry fast.
And boy, do we need to get rid of that worry. That
Right.
worry is systemic. It is a pandemic all on its own,
Yeah,
and
and
it
it's what
is so
creates
unproductive.
and it creates the anxiety, and then the feeling of stuckedness.
Yes,
I that's my word, stuckedness.
I like that stickiness
So,
too.
and you do both hands,
Mhm.
and it helps get rid of worry fast. And I'll be teaching this in my next workshop I have coming up. So you get rid of worry, FAST.
Mm.
Get rid of worry, fear, anger, sadness, and all the trying too hard, trying too much to try and to do it all.
And life expectations, which are all an illusion anyway. Yes.
Yeah. So when we allow that to be a part of our daily routine, if you will, I see kids pull their fingertips out and just start that.
Mm.
Okay. I work with a lot of elders, and it's beautiful to just see them being in that space of ease.
Yeah.
Because then once you understand what we are helping the body let go of, instead of worry, you have wisdom,
Yes.
right? Instead of anger, you have awareness. So all the whole body experiences the space and the spaciousness of the energy flow happening. And that's what this is all about.
Our oxygen in our blood needs to flow.
Yep.
90% of our body is water. It needs to be in flow, not stagnant. That's when it starts getting fermented. The energy in our entire psyche needs to be in flow. Everything around us needs to be in flow. And when we get stuck on something, fear or anxiety, which leads to depression, we are going to not find any answers at all. We just become part more and more of this constant repetitive cycle, and it's very hard to get out of. I found part of fibromyalgia you get clinical depression, and I found actually that listening to music was good, and then I understood why. The frequency of music, especially if you just allow yourself to be drawn to certain music, changes the frequency in your body and realigns you. Right?
Right.
So that alignment, we're always looking for balance. We're looking for the flow of our energy. We're looking for the balance of the mind, heart, and soul. The body needs to have mind, heart, and soul in balance so it can be in balance. And we have the power to do it for ourselves, to ourselves.
Yes, we do.
Quite
We do.
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite simple.
It's all
And
about just getting out of our own way.
so what would really be good is people would do a session or two with you to get into understanding how this all works, how the flow works. You've got books there too that are our guidance on it as well, which we're going to talk about. And then if they invest in that, after that, it's just a maintenance program, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And that's why I teach workshops, because it allows people the opportunity to have the information in such a way that you can go from where you are to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And I have clients and students that when I do an 1 hour, 3 hour workshop, whatever the case may be, it might be the 10th time they're there.
Uh-huh.
And they say, hey, review. There's no
Right.
such thing as too much self-help, right,
No,
Deborah?
no, there certainly isn't. Back to you are with this vessel to the day you die. Look after it, right?
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know, the world is in turmoil enough. It doesn't mean you have to be. In fact, you not being in turmoil, you being in clarity is part of the solution that this world needs.
Right. And with that in mind, for anyone who is experiencing some sinus constriction and congestion that's going along with a cold that might be brewing out there, this energy balance point right here, which is oftentimes what gets really clogged up,
Mm-hmm.
right, is actually an energy balance point in Jin Shin Jyutsu that, when it's in a state of balance, brings clarity and focus. So getting this clear and then keeping it clear will be phenomenal for where your body wants to get to.
We've got to realize when we're breathing in that oxygen, which is feeding not just our lungs, but the entire energy and the entire flow system within our body.
Right.
The more we breathe that in, the more the flow that's in the body, the more clarity and wisdom we actually have.
Yes. And then the oxygen feeds the energy flow, and the energy flow feeds the oxygenation, and everything starts just rolling along. And all those rivers I describe are rolling with light, gentle current, a good level, a good happening, so that everything within you can be on the same page, in the same book, written in the same language, playing the same game in the same playground.
And also allow you to explore.
Yes.
Because if our foundation of who we are as a whole is not secure and not in flow, it's very hard to want to or know how to explore other wonders out there. But when this is in flow and feeling secure, you feel you can open those doors to wonderment and what else is out there, because you know that you're actually in your backpack of energy. You're ready for it. You're ready for whatever is out there.
Exactly. And again, why I love teaching kids.
Mm-hmm.
Give them the opportunity when they're young to fully recognize their full potential and manifest the destiny they want.
Yeah.
And it's all viable. It's all feasible. Not just helping our bodies experience it.
So whether it's a child, whether it's an adult, whether it's a pregnant woman, whether it's a senior, it doesn't really matter who you are or what stage of life you're at. All of us practicing this simple method a few times a day, wherever you are, just to release the energy and keep it in flow, is going to keep you on the go.
Exactly. Thank you.
The books, tell us about the books.
Thank you for asking. So there's 3 of them. See if I can slide this out. So there's Easy Self-Help Acupressure for Grownups, and it's based on the daily Clean Your House flow. There's also one for Easy Self-Help for students and teachers, and another one for kids and parents. And they're all based on the daily Clean Your House flow, which again is a 9-step flow pattern. Now, what's interesting, I don't know if you're aware of the fact that I've also created an animated video. I actually had a group of teachers over time who were clients who took my workshops and were taking what I taught them into the classroom, specifically doing the daily Clean Your House flow. And they came back to me saying, it's made such a difference. Will you just do a real program? Out of that conversation, and then working with a local artist, created an animated video of the self-help acupressure flow daily Clean Your House flow.
Great, wonderful.
So it's available on my website. It used to be could be received with payment, along with a copy of the ebook of your choice. Well, March 2020 hit, and I contacted my marketing folks and said, that animated video needs to be able to be seen by anybody.
Because everybody needs it right now.
Right. So it's available on my website.
Wonderful.
So all you have to do is go to the website, deborahmyerswellness.com, click on the button, the aqua button that says get connected, put in your name and email address, and you will have the access to the animated video. And teachers love it, kids love it. Yeah. So these, by the way, are some of the caricatures from the animated video.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
So
well, an extra Christmas present for my daughter, that's for sure.
All right. I love it. I love it. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, I have actually last week put out a whole, books of people I've interviewed, suggestions for Christmas, and I'm adding this to it because this is something that definitely needs to be out there. You've also contributed to the book that you have over here, the Empowered Self-Care.
Correct. I have written a chapter in it, and it's called The Empowered Self-Care, Healing Body, Mind, and Soul. And mine starts, give yourself a great big hug, partner with your body for optimal health.
Excellent. Wonderful.
So My story is in there as well as to how I got to where I am now, and why I can't imagine not getting to do what I get to do.
Mm. You know, I always say we have redirects in our life, and you had this car accident, and some people go, "Oh, I had the car accident, you know, now I'm this, now I'm that," and they get stuck in, it becomes drama of the trauma.
Yeah,
Instead of, you know, okay, this happened to me, but what happened for me is up to me,
exactly.
right? And you decided to be a part of your own self-healing and get out there and look for a way to heal your own body. And, you know, with that wonderment again, that inquisitiveness, there must be something out there. There is always something out there.
It's
There
always
is
something.
always an answer out there. You've just got to be prepared to listen to podcasts, read books, watch YouTubes, and reach out to somebody and say, you know, I don't understand it, but can you help me through it? And then once you've participated, because we don't participate in our own lives, in our own health, in our own well-beingness, and our own meaningful purpose, we're missing the point of being here. So when we actually do participate and then we see how something works, then it becomes your aha moment and becomes your practice in life that helps you go and do what you're meant to do in life.
Exactly. So I was first introduced to energy medicine back in the 70s. That dates me when I was in college. And
Me too, baby. I mean, everything of us about yeah,
and
love
I
and
was
energy.
but I took to it like duck to water, and I was just insatiable with curiosity and learning and experiencing. But it never entered my conscious thinking I would be able to do it for my livelihood. I
Right.
mean, how
Yeah.
could you, right?
Yes.
So I wore a lot of different hats. I was a probation officer, a real estate broker, owner of my own company for years, insurance and securities agent, which is what I was doing when I had that car accident. And I knew right away what I needed to receive. I didn't want surgery. I
Mm.
felt, and I went inside and said, what's going? And even with all the tests, I said, no, surgery, not yet.
Mm.
We're going to see what we can do. And within a relatively short period of time, my body said, okay, you've got this. And the light bulb came on saying, girl, you know this, just do it. So
Yes.
that's when I took this step. Now, 20 years later, or thereabouts, I was in another car accident. I was rear-ended and my car was totaled. And I did really well for the first year. So this was in 2015. And I did really, really well. But then I started having flare-ups, lots of pain and discomfort in my neck. I had to make that decision of having surgery. My surgeon said, the one I selected to work with, he sat me down at week 5 after surgery and said, okay, tell me what you're doing. Nobody should be I've never had anybody heal as fast as you.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So it was energy work. It
Yes.
was receiving, it was giving to myself, it was allowing my body to experience flow and movement, to experience change. Energy has to change. It
Yes.
cannot be stuck.
No.
And that's what we're doing when we use our fingertips,
Yeah.
is helping our body say, I got you, girl. Or I got you, guy. Let's do
Yes.
this.
I just got you.
I
You
just
know, when
got
you
you.
look at cancer, which is an 80% emotional disease,
Mhm.
right? You know, if you know, so many people kind of die from the diagnosis, not even the disease, or you know, they go down that road, giving up or feeling woe is me. It's again, feed it the right energy, feed your body the right energy, and your body will work with you.
Yep.
It is just, it's like there's a little Pac-Man in there that just wants to go after that, you know, those bad cells and eat them all up, but you need to activate them, and you need to activate them with the right energy. And we're not saying that Western medicine
Yep.
is a no-go. It's just that work with them hand in hand, right? When you need to
Literally.
work with them hand in hand, literally, yes, and you will get through things so much faster. And that's the whole point of it. Sometimes we can do it on our own with our energy practices, and sometimes we do need the help. And that's okay. This doesn't work. No, this helps you get through that so much quicker. And everything has its place and its reason. And it's just understanding Western medicine is great at fixing things, but they're not about maintenance, right? They're not about the core and this energy alignment, this energy production that you are igniting every day with cleaning house, and there's various activations through the day, is making sure the production of your body, mind, heart, and soul is constantly in flow.
Correct.
Because
And
if
when
it
we
breaks
can do
down,
it,
what can you do?
yeah. And when we can do it in an easy, effortless way.
Yeah.
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 There you go.
So, really, really important. Again, this is something why this show is called Your Health is Your Choice, because there is always an answer to your health. But it's how much are we going to take ownership of that? How much are we going to step up and go, okay, this is my body. What can I do to help it? And that means listening to podcasts like this, reading the books, really doing the research, being open-minded, and be willing to try things. Maybe the first doesn't work, or maybe something needs to work over a period of time, but be willing. It's your health. It's your choice. Make the right choice for your health. Otherwise,
Yes.
you'll pay the price. Now, you've got something special coming up on the 14th of December. So
I
tell us
do.
all about the Ultimate Holiday Survival Boot Camp.
Isn't that fun?
Yes.
So it's a 90-minute self-help acupressure workshop, if you will, virtual, of course. And you'll be posting it in the notes, right?
Yes, all people have to do is just go to selfdiscoverymedia.com, and in the search button for her show, all you have to do is put in her name, Deborah, Deborah, Myers, Myers, and her show will come up. Everything that you're listening to here today, all the information, and also the link to this boot camp and her site, her social medias, and everything else will be there.
Thank you so much. What you do for the world is awesome. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Sarah.
right back at you, my dear. Right back at you.
Thank you.
Without
So,
people out there like you, I wouldn't have this wonderful platform. But I'm everybody who's on the path of their own meaningful purpose, their own calling, accepted the redirect, accepted the where they were meant to be, and were willing to go through the process of their own recovery or their own discovery to become what they are meant to be. And when we're willing to do that, we really do step into the joy of why we're here on this planet, doing what we're doing, and how we can help others, because ultimately that is what it's all about.
and that is what it's all about. And that's why the ultimate holiday survival boot camp is my gift.
Mm.
So there's no charge to attend. Just make sure you register before the 14th so that you can get the Zoom link, and you'll get an email with it. And so you will also then have access to the recording and the handout. So if you can't be there on December 14th, sign up anyway.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I'm signing up. I'm
Just do it.
definitely signing up. Absolutely. Again, if you do not invest the time in your body, in your psyche, in your beingness, if you don't invest it, don't complain about the results.
Exactly. In fact, and then in January, I'll have another one coming up that's called the Prosperity for Your Body and Your Wealth. For your
Health and
life.
wealth. Yes. And,
Okay.
and again, people think about how health and wealth come into in partnership together. When you are healthy, you are optimized, you have so much more clarity, so much more energy to go after things, so much more energy to create a wealth.
Mhm.
Wealth and health go together, but also without your health, it's very hard to make the wealth.
So true. So true. So I would love to have all your folks and all the folks that are listening to this just know that I wish you a phenomenal holiday season. And just maybe on December 14th, you'll gain some clues as to how to really assist yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to
Yes.
get to a space and a place where you feel not only good, you feel better. You
Yeah.
feel ready. You feel like this is what it's about to be a partner with my own body.
Isn't this a great Christmas gift to give yourself, folks? Go and get the books, join up for the free gift that she's giving you. Start doing it. Start practicing it. Do it all the way through the stressful Christmas season. Start 2023 with the right energy, right? Invest in yourself. It is so simple. You can do it anytime, anywhere, right? And you can be the answer that your body is seeking at all times. Right? It's so easy. Get the books. They're a great gift to give other people that you know that are going through the similar issues to me, to you as well, and to me, to share it, right? Because that shared knowledge is a great gift. You're giving someone else the gift and the opportunity to their own health. How they use it is up to them. But if they see that it's worked on you, that inspires them to try it for themselves. So, and the books are on Amazon. All they have to put in is Deborah Myers, Myers, and the books will come up there on Amazon, right?
Yes.
Wonderful. And it's deborahmyers.com.
Deborah Myers Wellness.
Wellness. Deborah Myers wellness.com,
Yes.
and everything is up there as well. Please join for the 14th of December. Get it in there, even if you can't be there at that moment. Don't forget, she's giving it to you afterwards. What a great Christmas gift. Start practicing it. Start feeling the difference. Get through this wonderful festive season without stress and with optimized energy, and embrace that 2023 with all that it's got to give you, because you are energetically ready for it. Thank you so much, Deborah, for being here today.
I thank you for the opportunity. It's been a joy.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. And I so needed this today. Thank you so much.
It was good timing.
Absolutely. And then that's the thing, folks. When you do need something, get out of the way. It always comes to you. If you've listened to this today, it's because you needed it, all right? Don't forget, there's always those points that can help point you in the right direction.
That's a good one.
Happy festive season to everyone. Do it with beautiful energy. Greet 2023 with wonderful energy, and may your health be your choice. Until next time, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Find all of our shows on selfdiscoverymedia.com under podcasts or selfdiscoverymedia/shows. And for all our current shows, go to What's New. We are supported by you, the audience. You'll see a nice big shiny blue button for one-time donations, or follow us on Patreon and you will be able to support us there. We enjoy bringing you such wisdom, and the next show will be up in just a moment.